Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is going to be part two on the 2012 Kia Sedona from a customer here in Virginia. Again, coil 6 and 5, I think. No, let me see, coil 4 and 6 were now working properly. And then he approved the repairs. I ordered the parts. I have the board now set up into the hot plate. I have a thermistor. This is what a thermocoupler connected to one of the microprocessor closest to the IC that I need to replace, which is this one right here, and the thermistor. I set the hot plate to 200 Celsius, and right now it's on 106. After that, I'm going to use my hot air station. This has a special cup that I will put, and then it has suction, so I just put it on top, and this will suck in the IC to be replaced. I have, as you see, multiple replacements, 2, 4, 6, 8, 12. So we got 12 replacements in case I need to do that in some other ones. And then do the replacements on the coil drivers. But everything has been approved, and we'll see how the report goes. I got everything ready to go for the test after the repairs. I got the signal for the camshaft position sensor, which is actually I was doing the test, and then I move. I'm going to use three channels again, 4, 5, and 6. The crankshaft position sensor signal, and I'm put the colors as in the picoscope, green, red, and blue. So channel 1, 2, and 3 for the same thing. Again, just to slowly bringing that whole bore into temperature because it's the only way that you can do that. And that is how it looks underneath, and that is a Haco hot plate. That is the part number, which I think got something in there. Not sure, maybe thermal paste. Is the AFR A70B. That's pretty good. You can select half of the board or all the board, depends on what are you working. But it's pretty good. All right, guys. Going to start the video here. As soon as I'm ready with the temperature, I'm going to show you that plugged in. Be right back. All right, the board is about to reach the temperature. We're around 190, so I'm about to set up the cup. Okay, so this cup again is suction. Let me put this a little closer so we have enough room. So again, this is just going to sit here. Hopefully I don't burn this. This is just a rubber hose. And we got a very hot surface in there. Let me try to put something else in here. No matter what, the board has not reached the temperature. I'm going to put a third hand here so I keep that hose away from the heat. Let me close this. Oops. Gotta close this hand so it doesn't go out. That's it, perfect. Let me turn the pump on. I need to get this closed. Did I just unplug it? Yes, I did. 1 second, guys. Okay, move this a little closer, but I think we're fine now. All right, that's the vacuum pump. I close the jaw of the third arm in here. Can now set this. Oops. Try not to burn myself. And the nice thing about the hot plate now is that it will come on by itself if necessary. The good thing about that cup is now with my hot air gun, I will be able to just apply the air directly to the point that I need. Let me see if I can move you guys to a better place. So this will not come on unless it goes down from temperature. All right, so let's see how it goes. Hot air gun is now working. Because it's very important to do it this way unless you want to remove the entire board from the computer, which is, in this case is very hard due to the position of the connectors through the actual case, and that makes it very hard to get it done without heating up the entire board. This way, at least we're putting 200 degrees. Right now, the heating elements are coming on and off to reach that 200 Celsius, and we can get this hot. When this gets removed, it will just suck it up. Come on. Sometimes I gotta get a second air gun in here, especially with so many different things in here. And the reason you want to have a cup like this is also because then you're stopping other components to get desoldered, and you're focusing the heat from the air gun directly into the component that you want to remove. Come on. You just gotta be patient. Sometimes it takes two, three times to get it to temperature. It is already, boom, that's it. All right, guys, and that's how you remove a component. I'm gonna keep the vacuum steel ply so we can hold that component with the vacuum line. We can remove. Now I have to clean the entire board and then put the new one. All right, so let me get you guys out of the uh, tripod, and then you can see how that looks right there if the phone gets into focus. Come on. All right, that's a little better. Trying to touch the screen, but it's not really doing it too well. Let me get a little more light so you guys can see. But yep, and the way that component looks, I'm going to just let it drop in there. Turn that off. Take a little bit to release, and then it's release. So that is a safe mode. And you want to let it cool down so you don't damage the component if you are trying to reuse. Because sometimes you will need to, one second, let me get a tweezer. Sometimes you're removing a component in order to fix, a pad or something that is damaged. Want to see how hot is it? No, it's not that hot now. We can put that here on the light, and we can see how is that. From underneath is, like I said, it's a BGA. Sometimes it's software I use doesn't really focus well. Into very close components. Not sure what it's trying to focus on, but that's all I can do, guys. One other thing I can do is get the camera going on the microscope. Let me turn this off because we don't need to keep this hot plate now warming up and cooling down in there. Now I need to clean the board. But before I do that, I want to show you how this looks on a closer microscope camera. So just bear with me 1 second. I'm starting the capture. Let me get the microscope in. All right, I got the microscope in close caption. Then we can put the camera there. I'm gonna take a picture and attach it to the file. But yeah, that's how it looks. This is not abnormal to see because it's when you bring it out, all these little balls are now going to look different. But let me put the new one in the microscope. All right, I got now a new one next to the, again, the focus on this camera with this software. It's not the, I'm using my iPhone to record, but yeah, I cannot get closer than that because it gets blurry. But yeah, if you're using an old one, then you have to get an stencil. A stencil like this, you can then buy the ball size. Again, you have to measure it, and then it's in millimeters, just 0.55 or so, and then you can put this on top of the component that you remove, and then you can reball it. Obviously, we're not doing that because we're replacing it, and the new one comes already with the new balls attached to it. So yes, you can see the difference in between one and the other. And I have now go and clean, or need to go and clean completely that board. All right, guys, I'm going to do that, and then we can start doing the replacement of the actual component. One thing that I forgot to mention, very, very important, when you're doing this, not sure if you guys saw this or not on the video, it's going to be a little hard to do with the current camera software that I'm using, but I mark the corners, even though this component or this board has already two lines, one in here and one in there, that you can align this properly and then reset, reset it back into place. That's very important, but I always like to mark the four corners with a black marker, and then I can know exactly that I'm in the right position. When you're setting this up, just make sure that you put enough flux in there. It will kind of find its own place as soon as it gets to normal temperature. You don't have to do anything. Don't push too hard. That's it. The uh, key here is cleanness, and flux. All right, guys. All right, let me set this up. I'll be right back. All right, guys. After the IC's replacement on this Kia computer, I have everything ready. Like, actually tie this up because it's not in the correct place. All right, secure the hardware here because this is the one that provides the powers and grounds and everything. Again, just to reiterate the connections that I have, for those that haven't seen the first part, let me actually, where are you? Right here. All right, so these are the connections. A lot of people is asking me, Mike, where you get this information? I make it. Don't look anywhere in the internet because you're not going to have it. This is mine doing. I can show you that if I go over to, this is the picture of the board with nothing in it, and this is the picture of me after putting all the information. So this is me taking hours and hours of going through the board and finding the parts, getting the replacement. Yeah, this is a lot of work. I even went down onto under the IC, and when the IC is removed again, if you want to see how that looks before, this is the picture before, and this is the picture after. So yeah, all you can see there, I made that. I went and took the time with the component remove and then get the signals coming from the microprocessor, and some other I see here is the voltage regulator all the way to that IC, which controls the coils, the injectors, and some other drivers like like the cam phasers and some other things that will need to be um, command. This is a gate driver. So what this will do is command the gate on the injectors, on the coil IGBTs, on the injectors MOSFETs, and then we have some other MOSFETs in here. These are double MOSFET that control again cam phasers and solenoids and some other things. All right, but yes, that is the information as you can see that I took the time to do again before and then after. One thing that I want to tell you is when you're installing a VGA component. So these are all surface mount components. Again, IGBTs. These are the two microprocessors, and this is the driver that we remove. These ones are pretty easy to do. You just heat again, the computer with a hot plate, 200, 220 degrees Fahrenheit. That will heat up the entire board and make your work a lot easier. When you are removing these ones, they have like, legs. Those are easy because that's all you can see is there. They can sometimes have a center ground pad. I'm not sure about this one because I'm not looking online, but some of them will do like these ones. You have a big ground path in the center and then the legs on the outside. But as long as you heat up the component, you can see if they're located good because again, all the legs are external. In this one, on the other hand, this is what they call VGA. It has all these little balls, as you will see or you have seen on the video, that are under it. So when you're installing this one, again, cleanness is number one. Very important that you, with the board hot, you take the iron and you just put a new ball of um, let it flux, or not flux, solder, and then you move it around, that will collect what is there, because this is a a higher temperature than what we can get, let's say, aftermarket. After that, you use a wicks. For those that don't know what a wicks is, it's this. This is the super wick that the one I use. You put the iron. I use it at 1 second because I just drop it on the floor, and it's a wire. Otherwise, it's going to get out of the coil. Um, I use it on 180 degrees so I can move it really fast and quick. Put a lot of solder flux, and then to clean it, and then move the wick around to collect all solder. Because you don't want to leave anything in there. Then you use this cleaner, this flux remover. Again, this is the part number if you want to order it. I keep a dirty one and a new one, so I don't mix the new one with the old one. I sometimes use the old one if it's to clean something that is really dirty, and then I use a new one. Like that, I don't mix it. And I use Q-tips or a horse brush. This is the best. It cleans very good. But then when you're going to install this, you want to make sure that you put the paste in the board cold, very good. Then you set up the component. Again, be careful with the number one mark. One thing that I want to show you, this is the part number. It says Delphi. It says still the 280 07984, but it's Delphi. If we go back to the picture of the board before replacing it, we can see that that is a completely different number. I mean, it's sorry, it's the same number, but it's not a Delphi. So this is the old component, and that is the new replacement part. If this camera can focus in there, I've been having a lot of problems with this software. It's not the phone, it's the software. But yeah, I think you can guys see that it says Delphi 486 in there. So yeah, that's a new one. But yeah, when you're going to put this, you're going to put a big blob of um, flux under it, and you set the component in there. Then you heat it up on the hot plate, let it heat up to 220 or so on. Then you're going to use your hot air around, I put them in maximum. That is the fastest I can get it to start heating up the component. I have on the hot plate the sensor thermocoupler attached in here with capping tape. This is a special tape for temperature that will not melt. And I keep it there. I turn the hot plate off and I just apply heat around, not too much air, or you can just go a little farther, but I rather reduce the output around 40%, let's say 10, 100%. And then you just heat up around and around. You will see the component finding his place. What you want to do with the hot plate as a heat up is that you can position very closely, because if we see, let me turn the camera on so you guys can see what I'm talking about, and then we can see that a lot better. So give me just 1 second, guys. Come on. I'm trying to give you as much as information as possible with these repairs. For those that are around, just click it, and I don't think it turned on. So let me click it again. Yes, this will launch anyway. Cancel. So okay, finally. So let me close one. I think I closed it one working. And let me reopen it again because now it's not reading the camera. Okay, finally it is. All right, so let me locate the camera. Gonna have to move the computer a little closer this way. Let me put that in focus. Perfect. All right, so what I wanted to show you, well, again, you can see the Delphi number is these. These markings are on the board, so you don't have to do yours. I always do mine with a marker, but then when you clean them, they'll go away, all the marker marks. But these ones are built into the board, so you can see when it's lined up closely, because again, when you have the flux and the component heating up slowly with the same hot plate, that will kind of like set itself into position, almost close. Then you come with a hot air station gun and you start heating up, and you will see that moving with the air and finding his place. And then you just remove the air, and then you just let it cool down. I will recommend to at least don't do anything to the board, turn everything off, and just walk away, leave it in the hot plate cooling down for at least 30 minutes. Then you can use the flux cleaner. Make sure that the board itself, the computer entirely, is in room temperature 78, 90 degrees. My temperature right now is at 72 Fahrenheit. So anything close to that, it will be room temperature. Like that, you're not stressing with a cold fluid, which still this is in room temperature. It's not like, outside. But yeah, you want to not get that thermal impact or thermal impact from something that is at 200 degrees, and then you applying a fluid of 90 degrees, because that will damage the component. All right, so then again, that's all I did. All right, so I have the oscilloscope ready. Remember what we have again on this computer, it was one of the drivers and sometimes two of the drivers, 4 and 6 not working properly, and then a 5 working 100%. For this, I'm using the AutoSync Pro. I'm using 58 teeth, 60 minus 2, voltage pick, 8 volts, and then RPMs 650. So when you're using this tool, you control the output with here, and that will output the RPM. All right, so this will, the way that I'm connected this time, uh, I don't know if I said, I have blue channel into coil 4, red channel into coil 5, and green channel into coil 6. So those colors will match in here. The yellow cable that you see here, that's the CKP signal that I'm providing into the computer to fire the coils. All right, so I'm going to put the power. I'm using the two switches because this uses um, more power, so you'll see it on the video if you have checked that. All right, set up the ignition. Let's make sure that this is running. Settings, if you want to see the settings, they're all at 20 volts. I'm putting 500 milliseconds per division. I did apply a filter of 40 kilohertz to all the channels, and I bumped the sample rate as 10 million samples. Like that, I have a clean signal. All right, so we're going to turn this on, and we'll see the activation of all the coils in there. So that is going live and stops. All right, so we can revisit that. So let me turn this off. So it's no longer being actuated. And let's go back to that capture. All right, so let's see what we see now. How we fix this computer, we still have the same situation. Remember, what we're looking in here is the activations of 3 coils. So I'm going to select one event of the 3 coils, and now we can see beautiful, all looking the same. Remember, the one channel on coil, I think it was 6, if I remember correctly. Otherwise, let's go visit the first video. I'm going to put the link in the description, but I can definitely see immediately that they're all working good. So we're going to measure the first one, which is the first one is in the red in here, I guess, on the screen, right? So let's just put this closer. So we're going to measure each one. So we got 2.325. Let's set up voltage reading on the highest and the lowest. So we're going to compare tomatoes with tomatoes, right? So we have high of 13.94 and low of 1.2 volts, 2.325 milliseconds. All right, so let's move that into the next channel, which is going to be the green one this time. I'm going to put also the cursors on the green channel. Again, this is close. It's not a perfect, so millivolts is not going to be a change. But so we got in the green channel 13.9 and 1.2, so we're good. And 2.103 milliseconds. That's looking really good. All right, so let's take a look at the blue channel. Remember, the actuation on this channel was 50 microseconds. That was nothing. I'm already seeing what I really like to see. Look at that, 2.103 milliseconds, same as the other channels. And let's put the last capture, which will be high voltage and low voltage. And we can see that we are reading pretty much the same across the board. Let me put my glasses on, make sure that this phone is reading good. So yes, so we have all the voltages pretty much the same, and the actuation of every single channel looking perfect. So this is 100% fixed, guys. Again, if you have a computer that you have problems on injectors, coils, or any of the solenoid drivers on this coil, on this Kia 2012, just send it over. You will be in the best hands. I know what I'm doing. I got the parts and I'm proving it here. I'm also sharing a lot of information. These tests you can perform yourself, like as far as actuation, because this is the same thing that will be out to the injectors. When I'm connecting is right here, not in the computer inside, right? So this is the same signal that should reach the coils. So you can use a test light the same way that I am using in here. And instead of the coil, you can remove the connector from the coil, use a test light connected to power, and then the other lead connected to where the injector, sorry, where the coil is being activated. Then you just piggyback your uh, oscilloscope, and that's what you should see. So you don't see that, it's definitely a problem inside the computer. And as you can see here, even I don't have a vehicle, I can reproduce the signal of the crank sensor signal and then let the coils fire. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. This is again a very nice conclusion of this repair. I was so happy this customer approved their repairs. I was able to get the parts before me leaving to Europe for vacation. So I'm going to be contacting him and get this to install back in the car, and then probably ask him to record a short video, just making sure everything is running good. But I mean, this is his concern. Everything is fixed. All right, guys. Thank you so much for visiting the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. And as we said in Costa Rica, pura vida. See you next time. Bye bye.